Hello and welcome to Korero, the big conversation table. I am Godwin Sunday. Today will beam our searchlight to Delta State, one of the oil producing states in Nigeria. I will take a short break right on return. We will begin to talk about Delta State. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now, let's even put this issue in perspective because for many that are not in Nigeria and also might not even know what Delta State stands for. Well, Delta State remains one of Nigeria's strategically important states, given its oil and gas resources, commercial centers such as Warri and Asaba, agricultural potential, and strategic positioning in the Niger Delta region. Now, governance, politics, and policy in Delta State is anchored by the administration of Governor Sharif Obaribori, who took office in May 2023 under the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Guided by its developmental more agenda, the state recently ranked second nationwide in governance performance, focusing heavily on infrastructure, expansion, economic diversification away from oil and local security collaboration. The central question is Delta State political system producing the policies and leadership required to translate its enormous economic potential into sustainable prosperity for its people? Joining me tonight on this table is Dr. Odiakbo Obere, a former Delta State governorship candidate and also an APC chieftain. He'll be helping us put all of these issues in perspective. But first, it's a delight to have you join me on Korero, Dr. Obiakbo.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you for having me.
Well, let's even begin the conversation by first looking at Delta State in its generality. How will you assess Delta State from when you contested in 2019 till date?
I can authoritatively confirm that there have been some tremendous development in terms of infrastructure, in terms of human capital building, and economic reforms. Most importantly, by this present administration.
Well, you say the present administration because you championed that cause, the political support network. You mobilized, were the convener for that for the group network that championed the cause and support for the current governor and that of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But then, let's talk about the people of Delta State. If a person wakes up, an ordinary Deltan wakes up today and asks, "What has changed? What has government actually changed in my life today?" How will you address those concerns?
Now, first of all, there's something that you need to understand, separating politics from governance. And the most important part is the governance, because politics is just to bring you
The vehicle.
into the office. Then when you get to the office, what do you do with the opportunity given to you, which is the mandate of the people? That is where it affects the life of the citizenry. Now, when that happened, the ability of the government through their policies will affect the people either positively or negatively. Then secondly, the people also have responsibility to identify key areas in policies that the government is bringing to bear. Because a lot of people are waiting to be spoon-fed, and that doesn't really work in an advanced or in a working democracy or governance. When government comes in, what you need to do as a citizen is to look at the policies they are bringing. How do I tap into these policies? There are so many things that are happening. How do I get involved in them? So your ability to identify the areas that you can key in through the policies that this government is bringing to bear will determine whether your situation will remain the way it is, or it will improve. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because there is a change in government or because there is government in place, then government is supposed to be sharing palliatives, sharing money, sharing anything.
But this was part of the campaign promises that they will meet the demands of Deltans, and they will also ensure that the budget is effectively used. So far, so good. If we look at the total budget, even in Delta State, which is still collecting about 13% on derivation, about in June alone, FAC Delta State collected about 86 billion naira from the federal government allocation. Now, in April, it was around 67.81 billion naira. We go by that, knowing that Delta State is not a poor state. Talking about governance, the allocation, does it commemorate with the current state of development in Delta State?
I don't know when last you were in Delta. That will make you to understand my response to this question. This government has been so pushy on infrastructure development, connectivity, this road connectivities and all that. These are basic developments that will prosper economy. Apart from the roads, there are bridges all across where it is impossible for connectivity. Bridges are being put in place even in the riverine areas. So these things cost a lot of money, but people don't really understand how much goes into this kind of development. But for those who understand how it is, they understand where the resources are actually going. Apart from that, there are so many other things that the government is putting in place in the area of health, in the area of education, agriculture, and just of recent, you saw it. The government, the 2026 economic summit took place in Asaba, and you can look at, when you look at the quality of people that were present in that summit, that will tell you that Delta is a destination. Outside Lagos, Delta is the next destination for economic development because infrastructures are being put in place. The human capital development is heavily taking place. So a whole lot warrants this summit that just took place. And I bet you it's not just going to be like a mere academic exercise. You're going to see the follow-up.
Dr. Odiakpo, when you say Delta is currently developing, are we talking about Delta from Asaba through to Warri, then back to Okwale? Is this the Delta we're talking about, or generality of Delta State?
Delta is a 25 local government state.
No, I'm curious.
Yes.
Because are we talking from Amai through to Okwale, traveling the Umusadegi Road down, or we're going through from the Warri access? Or are we talking about the entire 25 local government of Delta State?
In every area in Delta State, there is one project or the other happening. So that's why I'm telling you that Delta is a 25 local government state, and the governor has not prioritized one section than the other. So a lot is happening everywhere. That's why I said, have you been to Delta of late? If you have not, then I will invite you to go to Delta.
We'll talk about you inviting us to Delta for the second time. But then you've talked about education. I recall in one of your interviews in 2019, you stood strong when it has to do with education, talking about people are not educated, they are completely debased. And you championed that cause for a while because you preach education. So far, so good in Delta State. I recall in that interview you also said that Delta State was ranking among the highest state with private-owned schools. How will you assess the current state of public education in Delta State right now?
Great. When I run for election in 2019, I was very, very much particular about education, because if you want to destroy a country, you don't even need all the missiles, all the whatever. You just need to destroy the education system, and everything will go. So I was very particular because it's a key thing. Education is a key thing to everyone's development, personal development. Without education, you won't be able to assimilate what is happening in the outside world or outside your vicinity or environment. So education connects you to what is happening, and for you to be able to assimilate and understand what is going on around you and how to build your future and all that. So I was very particular about education, and at that time, yes, there were a whole lot of negligence on the educational system, but coming down the lane, a lot has improved. Primary schools, secondary schools are being renovated. Teachers are being trained. So a whole lot has changed. And I believe that with time, we'll be able to get to that point I was looking at as at 2019. But there has been drastic improvement in...
Well, when you say there have been drastic improvements, Delta State still rank among the 12th most populous states in Nigeria, and still rank among the 8th position when it has to do with education. Budget on education still stands in Delta State at 11.98%, with the whole coming with the more agenda. And as at then, you were saying that the budget stood around 6, perhaps 8% as at then. Right now, we're talking about 11. Few years down the line, can we call this a tangible growth?
Yes.
For people that are oil producing rich state, second even least poor state in Nigeria? Can we call this improvement?
Yes, that's why I said it's tremendous. You know why? When something is stagnated for a long time, and there's a form of improvement, you give it a plus. In the past 3 years, you can see that it has moved from that 6% it were to about 11%. That is 5% increment, right? Now, budgetary allocation has to do with priorities. So you can see that the present governor, has actually given priority to education by scaling it up. Don't forget, there are other areas that needed funding also, critical areas, most especially infrastructure, health. These sectors also need serious funding, agriculture, economic reforms, and all that. They require some serious funding. So for the governor to have moved it from where it was to 11%, it simply means that we are moving forward. And I assure you that probably by the time he will be completing his administration, it would have gone way probably above 15 and 20%. And that would put Delta into that map. But when you look at it at the moment, 8 out of 36 plus FCT, Delta is doing well. Is still doing well in the rating, in the ranking. So we are still in the top 10. So we're good.
So perhaps a lot of persons will say that Dr. Odiakpo is speaking because he is part of the people that endorsed the current administration. So that's why you're coming from this road. But in practical terms, looking at assessing this administration of the current administration in Delta State, taking the conversation down to some of the projects that he has been able to carry out in the state.
Mm-hmm.
Are this project necessity for the people of Delta State?
Yes. First of all, the alignment of the state, the greatest decision that the governor has made so far is aligning with the federal. Now, this is not about the political party. Political party is a label. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whether APC, whether PDP, is just a label. But what does the alignment brings? Is it going to create room for more jobs? Is it going to create room for more infrastructure development? Is it going to create room for economic development? These are the questions that they should be asking. Now, you take a look at it. We have the present state government has invested so much on infrastructure. Like I told you, infrastructure is one of the bedrock for economic development, because if you are a farmer, right, you have a produce or you have a factory producing something, for the raw material to get to you, you need good roads. For you to push your finished product to the market, you need good roads. Without road connectivity, the business will not function. Those who are farming will not be able to sell their farm produce, and you that is manufacturing, you will not be able to push your finished product to the market. So, road is critical. Road connectivity is critical to economic development. I just give you that as an example. However, the governor aligning with the federal government will further boost what Delta is supposed to achieve. Because for me, I rather have a governor who has a constructive connectivity with the central system, than a governor who is isolated in an opposition party.
But a lot of people have said
I'm coming. Right. Than a governor who is isolated in an opposition party trying to protect a label, which is the party name. So the decision of the governor moving to the state to APC is one of the best decisions ever. One of the best decisions ever that this government had done. So it's not about party. It is about connectivity. It's about what can I bring from the central to Delta? What will this partnership bring to Delta? How will Deltans achieve from it? So these benefits or achieve from it, these are the critical areas that we should be looking at, and not political parties.
Well, a lot of people said the biggest mistake the governor made, if you follow through on some comments from social media, said the worst decision the governor of Delta State and few other South governors made was to align themselves with the APC, because as soon as they joined the ruling party, they stopped thinking and stopped developing. When you look at Delta State from where it was 16 years down even from this time, and where it is right now, going by policy decision by this current administration, how will you rank this administration when it has to do with policy framework?
Delta is more developed now. In the past 3 years, the immediate past governor before this administration, Ifeanyi Okowa, I ran against him.
I recall in 2019.
So he has, government is continuity. He did his part. Then the baton is passed to the present governor. So it is a continuation of where he stopped. And this present government didn't neglect or abandon whatever the previous government was doing before the tenure ended. So the continuity is what you're saying. And realigning with the center has further deepened that developmental stride that you are seeing today. And I know Deltas will see more. They will see more. I promise you that.
Well, let's go with the narrative that more people right now in Delta State, especially taking the conversation from young people in Asaba, Ugeli, Saple, who has qualifications right now, cannot find job in Delta State. And as such, young people are leaving Delta State in search of greener pastures outside the shores of Delta. And largely the position is that except you are within the riverine communities and you are basking within the oil space, oil and gas space, you might just find yourself not be able to make ends meet in Delta State. You're saying the governor is working, but we'll look at what the policies of the government in order to position Delta State to be an economic hub of Nigeria. How will you even just oppose this conversation in the light of so what is happening right now in Ugeli, Asaba, and also Sapele?
Well, I want to say that human are nomadic in nature, and in Africa, not just about Nigeria or Delta State, Africa, we like migration. Apart from a few African countries like South Africa, Botswana, and some other African countries that really don't migrate that much. But most part of other African countries in the 54 country a section of the continent, we like to move when we don't see what we're looking for. Now, it's not just about governance. Like I said earlier, it's not just about the government. Like I said earlier, the youth has a whole lot of things to, policies to key into, right? That will improve their life wherever they are. Because for me, even as at 2019, I was against rural-urban migration. Because you can actually do well in your environment if government puts the enabling infrastructure in place. Government cannot employ, put people, everyone on their payroll. Government's job is to create the enabling environment that will help the economy sector, the private sector, to employ people to do the job.
But then I just cited Ugeli, I cited Sapele, and I cited, but then looking at it, what the economic empowerment so far tend to stem from the groundbreaking of the Kwale Free Trade Zone, which it's even on, it's not even seen, it's not, the economy, the budget even for this year is not even looking at even solving 50% of that. Now, a lot of Deltans will say that the people of Delta State are not feeling the impact of government. Rather, the government is going back to what its predecessor were doing in terms of creating road and improving the Delta State University of Science and Technology, and also touching Abraka, the campus, and a few others, doing the Ndukwa Road and also the Abo Akarai Road, not also forgetting the bridge at Otowodo, which people will say it does not hold any economic value. But looking at the billions that is earmarked for this project in Delta State, can we say that there is a misplaced priority by the current administration in terms of solving economic needs and facing the economic reality of Deltans as it stands today?
For me, I don't see it as a misplaced priority, right? But as an economist, and someone who's spur for development, I think what he's doing is in the right direction. But I will also appeal to the governor to look at internal roads, more internal roads, right? Because I just made something clear to you right now that give you an example about the farmer and the producer, someone who had a factory and all that. So most of the road connections in Delta State are internal. If you have to develop the economic situation to improve the economy, you must have a functional internal roads. right? Across the entire local government. We should look inward. Yes, connecting, building the bridges to have some connectivity. Yes, it's also important. Like the bridge you mentioned, Efrun, Otodo, and all that. These are to ease traffic, right? They are to ease traffic. If it is not necessary, the governor would not spend Delta money in that place. So if you have that bridge, it's easier for even intercity people who are traveling between Warri and going to Port Harcourt, when they get to Otodo, instead of them being stuck in the traffic, it's easier for them for their journey to progress. So there's nothing wrong in what he's doing. The investment he's doing in infrastructure is okay, but I want more in the internal road networks, so we can have small towns, small villages develop into towns, and small towns developing into urban cities.
What I'm asking is because you've always preached the new Delta.
Yes.
And that's always been your mantra.
Yes.
And you've stood with the new Delta agenda.
Yes.
Almost throughout your campaign period. And of course, one will ask, what changed in Dr. Odiakbo right now? Is it the new Delta that you were preaching then in terms of governance?
Now, I want you to understand something. Rome is not built in a day, right? The government has come in. Now, I was in opposition as at the time I ran for governorship, right? And being human nature, it is difficult for an opposition sitting government to take economic advice from opposition because they want to take the shine. But as it is, we are on the same side, right? So whatever is lacking will be achieved because we are all working towards the new Delta. I have my templates for the Delta I wanted, the Delta I envisaged, right? At the same time, why doing that? Why looking at the possibility of that to happen? I mustn't be the governor of Delta State for that to happen. But I can also partake in ensuring that the Delta I look forward to happens. So it's a family thing at the moment that we need to look inward, put heads together, and see the possibility of driving the force.
Dr. Ojakwa, it's 3 years so far, and you are still putting heads together. Is it that probably minds like yourself in Delta State are not putting minds enough to be able to drive the kind of change that Delta should have, going with the reality of its FEC every month? It increased. And of course, Delta State budget has also increased to 902.07 billion. Now, it keeps going up. No, I beg your pardon. It increased from 1.7
trillion.
2 trillion.
Yes.
29 trillion, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
But some people will say it is 1.72 trillion, approximately 1.73 trillion.
Yeah.
It's keep increasing. The previous year before that, it was 926 billion.
Mm-hmm.
It has increased.
Mm-hmm.
But the number of projects, number of development, it tends to dwindle. In the light of this conversation, is it that right mind or right thinking minds, even within the APC family right now, are not thinking enough in order to drive Delta to the new Delta that you envisage?
No, I disagree with you.
All right, please help us to understand.
I disagree with you.
All right.
And I need you to take it from this perspective. The budget is increasing because there's more money coming from the federal. So there's more things to be done. Now, the states, or most states in Nigeria, no longer borrow, no longer struggle for whatever their budgetary responsibilities are. Now, more money coming in mean more activities, development in Delta. That is why the budget is going up. Bringing you back, I need to address the issue you raised. The government, the present administration, isn't up to 3 years. It migrated to APC. And when there are changes, there are times it requires time for you to settle. So the government is settling, and the governor has been handling this very well. Between the old PDP that came in with him and the old APC.
We are still coming to that political part.
I'm coming.
Please go ahead.
To the old APC that he met in the party. So he's handling it very well. And the synergy is what I was addressing to you, that now we are together. Our suggestion will now be seen with a receptive mindset. So I assure you that when he comes back in 2027, between now and 2031, you will see a different Delta. You will see the new Delta that I preached in 2018, 2019 during that election. So we are still in course. We're on course, and we have not derailed.
Well, Dr. Ojakpo, when you say when he comes back in 2027, you make it sound like an automatic ticket already for him even in Delta State, knowing fully well that the All Progressive House tend to be right now in Delta State divided against itself. You've talked about the People's Democratic Party, the people that believe in the governor while he was there, and people that followed his political ideology and are still with him right now, waiting to get some form of compensation because they invested in his political career. And right now, the APC, on the other hand, have few big wings within the APC that have left the APC for the governor, because at that point, the likes of Omar Gege and a few others were dissatisfied with the whole transitioning process. But if you want to look at the politics in Delta State, which has been largely a People's Democratic state, how long should we give the government to balance its house in general, political-wise, before the people of Delta State start seeing the more agenda play out even more efficiently?
Now, politics will come, but development will not wait. So development is continuity. Why everything politically is being played behind the scene, governance is visible. That's why you can see it. That's why you can comment. But politics, it's not just about the party. It's about what the party holds for the citizenry of the state. That is what people look at. But unfortunately, every political decision is strictly by the politician. You take your decision, you don't want to be in APC, it's your decision. You want to move back to PDP, it's your decision. You want to go to another party, it's your decision. So we will not use individual decision to equate that there is problem in the party. There's no problem in APC in Delta State. As we speak, there is no issue. There's no division in APC in Delta State. If you watch carefully, you must have been, if you've been following, you see that we've been having senatorial gatherings, not just in my Delta Central, you have in the south, you have in the north, a whole synergy. And all this gathering you see is not just to share Oberewori or share the president, but to rub minds and see where we can forge ahead as a family. So there is no division. There is no local government today in Delta State where you will tell me that the local government chairman is fighting with the APC chairman, or the someone who was holding the party before they came. There is no fight. There are no fracas. We are moving forward peacefully, and I can state that for anyone that left the party, it is because of his personal decision. Not that the party is in disarray. No, APC in Delta is solid.
Come 2027,
Yes.
Which is just around the corner. Some people say just a few weeks away.
Yes.
Do you see the APC winning at least 25%, or perhaps the 25 local governments in Delta State as it stands today? If we go by the performance of the local government chairman in Delta State.
Now, they say charity begins at home. I'm from Ethiopia's local government.
I know.
My local government chairman, Chief Ogedegbe, is doing a lot. And fortunately, is also from my village, is my kinsman, is doing a lot. Not for my ward, but for the entire local government. You can check, you can fast check what he is doing in Ethiopia East. And most local government chairmen are doing things also because they now have access to more funds. Not like in the past where local governments were granted. They were granted, they were merely existing as a third tier of governance. But as it is today, a local government chairman can comfortably give you a contract. And that is a plus for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and non-interference of the governor. So, a whole lot is going on positively in Delta State.
So, invariably, by extension, you're saying that if election is to happen today, the APC will comfortably sweep Delta State.
Now, I don't want to use that word comfortably.
When you said the,
no.
You said the local government are
Listen,
performing,
I don't want to use that word.
Okay, let's allow you.
Yes,
let's allow you use.
I don't want to use that word comfortably, because irrespective of the fact that we are the ruling party in Delta State, the people matter more. The electorate who give the governor the mandate, who gave the local government chairman the mandate, these people matter more. Forget election winning has nothing to do with the label. Whether you are PDP, whether you are APC, it doesn't work like that. We were in this country. A sitting president was defeated at the poll. So what happened? Is it the label? No. Now, it is our duty to go to the people. Not because we are now APC, the governor is now APC, all the local governments are now APC, then is a coastal ruler. No, we will not do that. We owe the people the duty to come to them, show them our report card, see what we have done, see where we are, see what we are going to do if we come back. Then the people will take a look at these things and do their judgment. And this also applies at the federal level. You can see that a whole lot of policies of governance at the federal level has really put smile in the faces of the people, most especially the young people. For the very first time, you don't have to know anybody as a student to access NEL fund. You don't have to be a commissioner's child, a army general's child, or a minister's child. You can just apply and you are paid. You have no excuse to say, I cannot go to school. That's a very great plus for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For people who are crying wolf, there are people who are used to free money. So, everywhere is tightened. The free money is no longer coming. The money is going to where it's supposed to go now. Yes, the president wants to kill Nigerians. Go through your tab. Right from time immemorial, there has been hunger. Right from time immemorial, there has been hunger.
So even as
when a 504 was sold for 7,000, how many people have it in their compound?
Well, you're saying the Nigerians should not blame the president.
See,
and by extension, Delta people should not cry wolf when it has when they experience some form of poverty.
No, poverty is in the mind.
Okay,
that's why I said when a government comes to be, what you as a citizen need to do is look at the policies of government, see where you can tap into, and you will prosper. But when you sit down and all you do is complain, and people who have the foresight are tapping into MSME provisions and so many other things, then you will be poor. But when you are able to identify where you belong, where can benefit you in the policies of federal government or the state government, you have no business being poor. So your poverty is sitting in your mindset that, oh, I have no food to eat, without going out to exercise. What will bring the food to your table?
Well, Chief Odiakpo, Dr. Odiakpo, I beg your pardon. If you check right now, I've been saying that our time is fast spent. What a day. But before I let you go, let's have this as a breaking news even on Rapid TV. Come 2030, since you've already endorsed Obariwari as the governor for 2027, and you've also endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in all your forum and all your platforms. But then, come 2030, are we seeing you on the ballot? I will not. 2030 is still far away. Let's have that so that we'll keep it on our archives.
2030,
records, of course. People from Delta State are watching right now.
2030
because we want to begin to assess some of the new Delta that you've preached,
yes,
and what we're going to be seeing for the next couple of years, and we're going to be seeing you on the ballot.
2030 is still.
Let's peep into the future.
No, it's still far away.
Let's peep into the future.
No, it's still far away. Right now, we have work to do.
You've talked about when you see a government, you need to envisage and tap into what you're saying.
Those are policies.
RapidTV.
Those are policies.
I've studied your policies.
Those are policies.
Since 1999 till date, are we seeing you on the ballot come 2030?
2030 is still far away. Right now, my major responsibility is to help my governor, help the president, whichever way, whichever capacity I can, to ensure that their policy implementations are okay, and to ensure that we achieve the purpose of campaigning for them. So we have work to do. It is not yet time for me to start deciding that, oh, 2030, those are politics. Those are political decisions. But right now, we have work to do. We need to drive the system. We need to support our leaders. We need to bring necessary advices. We need to, wherever we can, to support the administrations, we have to do that right now.
If your people say they want you in 2030, would this also be your response?
Yes. In 2030, don't forget the governor is from my senatorial district.
I understand.
So it will be unfair for me to sit here and say, oh, in 2030 I'll be running for governor. It means that I am insensitive to the Delta North and the Delta South people. So it will be unfair for me to make such decision at the moment.
Well, I wish we had more time to talk even about Delta State, but I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Odiakpo Obere, for finding out time to be with us here on Korero.
Thank you for having
An
me.
interesting conversation it is for tonight.
I enjoy my moment with you.
Well, thank you so much. Well,
Yes.
viewers, this is how far we can go tonight on Korero. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments on our various social medias and Andrew currently showing on your screen. And you can also follow Rapid TV and download the free TV app to keep tab with our activities and also follow us to know what the next programs will be and look like. I am Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Bye for now.